Well, tonight's topic actually comes from my good friend One Crit Wonder as we gear up for this Star Wars RPG podcast. And in consideration of any RPG game, really, we're going to talk about how you create connections between your character and the other characters in the party. Welcome to the vlog today. Hey, my name is Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D. I appreciate you coming by. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification if you're interested in RPGs, especially Dungeons and Dragons, and want to hear all kinds of interesting stories, tips, and tricks involving this wonderful hobby. Anyway, let's get right into it. Here we go with how do you connect your character to the other characters in the party? And I think this is a cool topic, so I'm really grateful to One Crit Wonder for suggesting this and bringing it up because essentially we're getting ready to start our Star Wars RPG game here on Wednesday nights, or actually it's going to be every other Wednesday night. And wow, so we did our session 0 last week, which was loads of fun. You can check the the VOD out for those, as I've mentioned. And we're just gearing up. We're trying to figure out, like, well, why are we together as a group? And even beyond why are we together as a group, why do you continue to adventure with this group? What is really important about this question about, like, what connects you to the other characters is it creates hooks or tie-ins or tools is a great way to think of it that you can use for some really good RP, for really good role playing. So when you start to look at this relationship, when you look at, like, well, why am I adventuring with this group? And what connects me to this group? One of the fun things you can do is look at alliances and rivalries within your group. Like, for instance, you might choose, I should say, not you might find it through the game too, but I meant to say you might choose to pick one of the players that, for whatever reason, your character has a strong bond with, a strong friendship with, or something like that. Similarly, you could go the other direction and choose one of the other characters that you have some kind of a rivalry with. Like, maybe you see, like, they have a skill that you wish your character or your character wishes they possessed, or perhaps they did something or said something or represent something that you decide you have a problem with, or your character has a problem with. This can make for really, really fun role-playing moments. And of course, we don't want to do anything that would make, like, really aggressive reasons for infighting in the party and for the party to not be together at all. These are more just subtle things of, like, for instance, in a group of guys that are hanging out as friends, and maybe this happens with women, I don't know. It probably happens in mixed gender groups too, but for sure I know with my smaller groups of guy friends, there tends to be a friendly sort of level of competition, right? Where you maybe have a competition. There's, like, tension. There's competition between some of the friends in the group, right? And that can come into your role-playing game and make for loads of fun in your RP. So that's one thing you can think about is, again, like alliances or rivalries. Another great hook or another great tool, or again, whatever you'd like to call it, another choice you can make for your role-playing is that maybe you know a secret about one of the other players' characters, or maybe one of the other characters knows a secret about you, and you don't want them to let anyone else know. So, like, little secrets like that are fantastic because part of having those allows this, like, ongoing tension, and also allows that organically sometime during the game these kind of fun moments can occur that can be really exciting, and I always say it, delicious when you're playing. Like, to me, when you're playing, when you're really into your character and the other players are into their character, I call those moments delicious because they're like food for the soul, because you get to experience and explore something that you might not experience in your own life, in your actual day-to-day life. And isn't that what's so great about RPGs to begin with? Now, one other deeper level you can get to in this sort of idea of picking some connection you have with the other PCs is maybe one of the other characters in the party saved your character's life, and you sort of owe them like a life debt, or you feel indebted to them because of it, or something like that. That could be really powerful and motivating and pretty fun. That's a pretty heavy one. There's some real cool things to do with that. A lighter one could be things like maybe one of the other members in the party has a skill that you would secretly like to learn. And maybe you have to figure out a way. Maybe your character is trying to find a way to, make that happen or maneuver without, depending, of course, on your personality of your character. Maybe there's a reason that they're hesitant to approach the other character about this. That could be super fun. And I think the last one I want to suggest, again, some of these were suggested to me, and I'm also sort of putting my own twist on these ideas, so I can't take any credit for this. It's just a really fun discussion. Here's a great one that you can try too, is that you choose two of the other PCs, of the other players' characters, and you decide, like, for some reason, this is you, the player, decide that your character wants to see them fight. For some reason, maybe there's some kind of like bone of contention, or you just like stirring the pot. I don't know, like you are whatever, or maybe you're just curious. Maybe it's just curious. Like let's use, because it's an easy thing to do. Let's use Critical Role for this example, this final example here. Maybe you think of like, wow, wouldn't it be? What if you saw Grog fight Scanlan? That would be interesting. Might versus magic. Okay, they're best friends, and what would lead that friendship to a head to where they actually start to really wrestle and duke it out, or of course Scanlan would use magic, but I mean Big B's hand against Grog would be pretty amazing, right? So that could be a fun thing to kind of put into your character, so that you have, again, these little cues, these little motivations, these sort of like sidebar things that you can draw from to do two things: to make your role playing more interesting, but also at the basic level to give you a reason why do you continue to adventure with this group. So tell me your stories, give me your suggestions if you have some other great hooks for connecting your character to the other characters in the party. And before you go, check out one of these videos down here below me. Keep rolling 20s until I see you at a table someday, and remember, it's your game. Play your way. And this is going to be... Okay, wait. Let's try that one again.